Welcome back to the Stoop Football fans. It's your boy Lolo here on another Friday night happy hour. Big apologies for not coming to you guys last week or potentially even the week before. I've been doing a lot of traveling, a lot of work, a lot of things going on in the everyday life. But I'm happy to be back here, cracking a beer with you guys on a Friday night, drinking some Estrella Galicia today. So, hey, John.
Ooh. Oh, so I can't drink it right. Yeah. I got to let it settle for a couple of seconds, and then you pour it, you wait.
Nah, they got those cans like American Proof now, where you just dump them in and you're good to go. Man, that's good. Anyway, good to see you, John.
Good seeing you. Keep talking. I'll back myself out in a second.
No problem. So let's get to it. Let's talk some football. It's been a couple weeks since I've been able to express myself about what's been going on in the football world in the Premier League. And I got to say I'm happy with the way my Arsenal is eking out wins, making things happen. Somehow we're sitting in the league because Liverpool fumbled, and we're going to get into the whole Liverpool issue. But I just got to talk about Arsenal. I'm actually... every week when the lineup comes out and there's all the Arsenal chatter on all my chats and things like that are talking. Oh, there you go. Cheers, John.
Cheers, man.
Every time the lineup comes out, everybody's all talking about what's Mikel doing. He's ruining this. What's he doing? We finally have Eze and Gyökeres and Nwaneri needs to play. Miles Lewis-Skelly needs to play. And I just have to say that I think Mikel Arteta is doing a fantastic job right now of rotating the riches that we have. Everyone's talking about Arsenal this season being a must-win or Mikel's gone. I don't think that's the case for the Arsenal board. That may be the case for a lot of Arsenal fans, but I think that's not up to us. That's up to the Arsenal board. But the big thing is we finally have a solid team. Everyone would say we probably have the best 22 players out of every team in the league. And that hasn't been the case. I don't know if that's ever been the case. But right now we're sitting with a great starting 11, and our bench looks massively impressive. And they look like a bunch of caged animals dying to get on the pitch because they know they would be starting for most clubs. It's an easy trap for Mikel Arteta to fall in and mismanage all these riches. He's not as of now, and I just want to give praise to that. Now, let's get to the point of today's show, the major topic of today's show. All week long, I know you guys watch a bunch of YouTube stuff and social media and all that, and all I have been seeing is that Liverpool are done. Liverpool, they lost a game in the league. They lost to Palace. Okay, then they go Champions League. They lose. Oh, my God, it's a meltdown. Then they play Chelsea. Chelsea gets a last-minute winner. Liverpool have been getting those all the time. They didn't get it this time. It went the other way. Same thing with Palace. Now they've dropped 3 games in a row, and it's a crisis. People are saying slot out. People are saying Mo Salah needs to sit on the bench. There's some crazy stuff going on right now. People blaming the players. People blaming the manager. All I have to say about that is pump the brakes. Liverpool are just fine. Relax, okay? We've seen this time and time again with Manchester City. We saw it with many teams where they go through these slumps and all of a sudden it's doom and gloom and it's all over. Relax. They have a fantastic, deep squad that is just getting to know each other. They will start firing, and we will all be complaining about them being lucky and good in no time. All right. So let me bring on one of my guests so I don't just sit here talking at you all. What's up, Mr. David? How are you,
Hi,
sir?
guys. How we doing? Leeds.
Exactly, Dave.
All right. Um, and big up to Anders, who was first in the comments section, of course, who is Swedish and says, you can take the Swede and make him American because we don't want him anymore. I think he's talking about Victor Gyökeres, Victor the Gyökeres. And then Mo Master, good to see you on time. Rib Shot, Latina Shearers. All right. Not sure what that means, but Led Zepp, good to see you as well.
He was just in Tom's wrestling show. And
yeah.
Ribshot likes doing anagrams. So I don't know if that's an anagram or not.
That's an anagram. Well, now I'm going to stare at it. Ah, shit. All right, he sidetracked me already. Well, good one, Ribshot. Way to come out with strong with your first comment on the channel. Glad you can join us. David, what's going on, man? Leeds United, you guys doing all right?
Yeah, we're doing okay. I was a bit disappointed with the Spurs game. I went up and saw it, so I was up close and personal. I think we deserved a draw. But for a slip, we probably would have got the draw. Spurs are a very good side.
Yeah.
They started time wasting when it was 0-0, which was a little bit disappointing to see. But I suppose it's life in the Premier League.
Yeah.
And I on the way back, I was chatting to a group of Spurs guys, and they agreed that they thought a draw would have been a fair result. But of course, that's the difference at this level, is that you player slips and you get punished for it. And what can be said?
Yeah. Well, that's exactly what people have been saying about Liverpool. The people who do say that Liverpool are in an actual slump. It's not just these 3 games. Look at most of their games. If it wasn't for a 90th minute, 96th minute, 85th minute, things like that, where a draw probably would have been a fair result in most of the Liverpool matches this season. And they got the win. They got the win more times than not, and they didn't. So, David, to take it away from Leeds back to Liverpool, I want to ask you, this 3-game slide of 3 losses in a row, 2 in the league, 1 in Champions League, do you think Liverpool are done and dusted? Is this the beginning of the end? We're in week 7 or week 8.
No. Liverpool are far from done and dusted. What I will say is, and it's my opinion, is that they weren't the most convincing winners last year, as in their defending, but they always outscored teams. That's how they won. They won so many games in the last 10 minutes for an injury time. And it almost, they've carried that through into this season. They can't finish sides off, and maybe they're just missing a little bit at the back. There's certainly the midfield. They've had a lot of changes at Liverpool, I feel. And maybe sometimes too many changes, takes a while to get settled down. The guy Wirtz has come in. He did a lovely setup assist for one of the goals recently, but he's been less than what I think everybody expected him to be. But no doubt he'll probably come good in the end. Yeah. But it's little things like that. I mean, at the beginning, first couple of games, they were fantastic. And they're just, I think it's a minor lull, but if things carry on, then it won't be a lull. It'll just be, okay, well, maybe they've been found out a little bit. But I mean, they've got the manpower to outscore teams if they start clicking, which I'm sure sooner or later they will do.
Well, let me ask you this, because you kicked my mind off thinking about last season and thinking how actually the last 3 seasons, well, 2 and this season, could actually be linked a lot more than maybe we're thinking of it. But when you go from a Jurgen Klopp style Gegenpressing, like the thing about it, the Jurgen Klopp team, even when they didn't win the league, playing Liverpool, it was like fast paced. Their at you the whole time. I remember Arsenal players came out and commented it was like a red wave, like it just never stopped. They just never stopped trying to take the ball from you and just go. So they go from that, and essentially the same team, Slot comes in, and all Slot does is steady the ship, and he keeps people healthy, and he plays the right people at the right time. He did a great job, but it was like, okay, cool. We've got a bit of coasting to do, and he just put it in neutral. And they were like, let's just not be terrible. And they actually won the league. So I think that may have slowed the momentum this season, where it felt like they could come into the league in autopilot, and it worked for the first 4 or 5 weeks. And now you see some frustration from like Virgil van Dijk yelling at Mo Salah getting frustrated, Isak yelling at people, where there's all these new players and they have new toys, but the old toys who have been there are kind of coasting. Is maybe that? Do you see what I'm saying? It's kind of a progression from.
I tell you know what? You mentioned Mo Salah, which was one of the players I was going to bring up. I mean, undoubtedly a huge talent, fantastic player. He's not really got going this season. Now I look at the Arsenal side, and a player that I would have discarded here because I thought he'd gone right off the boil, and that's Trossard. Now you see some of his later performances in the last couple of games for Arsenal. He's been terrific.
He's been absolutely terrific. Yeah.
Martinelli, when he comes on, Martinelli makes a difference. He never used to make a difference before, really.
Because he's a cage dog. I'm telling you, my image of Martinelli right now, he's in a cage. Like, he can't just sit on the bench. They have to put him in a cage because he's so hungry to get on the field.
He wants to prove himself.
Matter of fact, I think it was the City game. The night before, he tells his girlfriend, no, it wasn't the City game. It was the game right before, I think the Champions League game, where he tells his girlfriend, I'm not going to start tomorrow. I'm really upset. This sucks. I'm not going to start. And she grabbed him and she said, you're going to come off the bench late in the game, tired legs, and you're going to blow past him and score a goal. And that's exactly what he did.
He was just saying that to get the sympathy,
Come on, hire her. She should be on the Arsenal payroll at this point, because whatever's happening, I think Martinelli got our Player of the Month. I don't think he started a match.
No. He has been good when he's come on. He's made a difference. You know what he reminded me of? He reminded me of a young Di Maria who used to come on at Real Madrid.
Yeah.
And he'd come on for Ozil, a player who I have to say, from my own opinion, having seen him play a couple of times at Madrid, admittedly, I always thought he was a bit lazy. He played within himself.
Yeah.
But Di Maria was always hungry. You could see that,
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, I digress a little bit. I think it's not just that, it's other players in the Arsenal side, like Timber. Timber's come in. He's been fantastic.
He's been my
fantastic
player of the season so far.
Yeah, you've got so many good players, and you've got depth now. The only thing I will say is what you're missing is that one special player.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you could say, well, we don't want that because it would unbalance the side. But,
it's Saka.
that would one
be Saka
special
for us. Yeah.
Yeah, the one special. Well, I wouldn't put Saka as.
But
no, I'm talking about a player who's more special and who ignites a team. So maybe that will happen.
We may have that by the end of the season, because Eze could be that player.
Yeah,
but also Martin Odegaard could be that player. Martin Odegaard last season, admittedly, big drop.
A little bit, wasn't he?
but already, and unfortunately, he's been injured twice this season already and had to come off and missed a game. But he's been a lot better. He's been a lot better. And to talk about the injuries for Arsenal as well, I was talking about this with some of my Arsenal friends, of course, but I was thinking about it, and we've had a lot of injuries already this season, but those players have already come back, except for the big major ones like Kai
So
Havertz.
they're just
All
knocks,
that.
really.
But what I was thinking is we finally have the depth where Odegaard can say, normally I would stick this out and I would play the rest of the game and then potentially be out for 2 months because I get injured later in the game and because I push it. But right now, put Zubamendi in. I don't need to be like, nope. And Saka can do the same when Madueke was there. But you know what I mean? I feel like they're coming, like Saliba did it as well, where he tried to play. He injured himself before the game and he tried to play. And then like 20 minutes in, he was like, I need to come off. But we have the depth. He has Mascara behind him. We have Eze to come in. We have Zubamendi to come in. We have Marino. We have all these players. So I feel like they're not pushing these injuries that they may have done in the past.
Yeah. The depth you've got is quite significant at the moment. I mean, that's not to say that Liverpool haven't got some depth as well. They have.
Yeah.
I think they've got, you've got the likes of the Isak transfer. I think that's unsettled Liverpool to a point as well. He's come in. He's not going to get a game straight away. He's not fit. He's not had a pre-season really. Once they get going, if they get going, then they're going to be a force. And if you finish above them, then there's a good chance you'll win the league.
Yeah.
Would also say the same with City. In this season, I know they've had a little bit of a rocky. They had a couple of rocky games, didn't they? But in the last couple of games I've watched them, I'm like, oh yeah, they're beginning to look good. Again, that's going to come down to Rodri if he can stay fit and bringing in other players.
I don't think it is though. I think Pep has seen Rodri's downfall. He's seen how unconsciously reliant he became on Rodri because he's not the main playmaker. He's not the main defender. He's just everything. He's just a fucking incredible footballer. But he got injured, got better, got injured, got better. And then this last time he came off this last week, he had a look on his eye where I felt bad for him. And I think he's an asshole of a player. Like I don't like him at all as a player unless I'm watching Spain play. And then I'm like, he's the best player in the world. But he had a look on his face of like, this is it. I can't keep doing this. But I think Pep has actually changed his style. I think Pep's gone after this season anyway, but he's like, I'm going to reinvent myself yet again, because what we've seen is we've seen them go way more defensive. He's had Haaland actually playing defense. The other day, he had like more clearances than any defender because he was in the box clearing shit. Like, but you saw even in the Brentford game, they got that goal. And then it's not that they sat back, but as the game got deeper and deeper, they started to sit. They sat back for Pep, like for Pep's style. It was a big sit back, and they defended the game out and had a 1-0 win. That's not what we've seen from, especially an Erling Haaland, Pep Man City team. So I think Man City are a team that. I think my biggest complaint with all this Liverpool are done. It's Arsenal's league. My biggest complaint about that is y'all are counting out Manchester City. Like they're not even in this game. Don't do that. Don't. No. We've done it enough, and Liverpool's done it enough. That like, no. Do not forget this is Pep's league. Dude's been here
I
like
think it's
10
going to. I was
years.
having a chat. I was having a chat earlier on today. Funnily enough, the lad was an Arsenal supporter as well. And I had a chat yesterday with another lad who was a Scum supporter, and we were chatting about the Premier as a whole. And we were saying about that we thought it was going to be more competitive this year, and the promoted teams made a big difference this year because they're not walkovers. And maybe the top teams, if you like, that extra level higher than the rest of them. So there's every chance that you're going to have close games, as you say, like the Brentford at 0-1 to Man City, and games like that where teams will take points. They're going to drop. Liverpool are going to, they've lost games. It's going to happen more this year, I think, where in previous seasons you've had a couple of clubs who really haven't lost too many. They've just walked away a little bit with it and competed by the end. Come February, it's just those two competing for it.
Exactly. And those 1-0 wins, like the Man City Brentford, those are those times that we were
Vital.
talking about earlier where 96th minute, your center back slips and pulls down a striker, they get a penalty, they level the game, you go out with the draw.
Yeah.
Against Burnley, against, or like Liverpool won against Burnley off of that handball that just it came out of nowhere in stoppage time, like, oh, let me just smash this ball into the box, and the guy's hand was up, and it was like, oh, there you go. Those happen the other way around. So as long as the promoted sides and the lower sides can keep the games tight, weird shit happens. A lot of times it happens in Liverpool's favor, Arsenal's favor, Man City's favor, Chelsea's favor, but it can happen the other way around. So I think this will be it will be an exciting Premier League final few months, because I don't think we'll know who's relegated till possibly the last day.
Yeah, we'll just have to see how that goes.
Unless Wolves, I mean, I'm expecting Wolves to do something, but if Wolves continue the way they're going, we may have to have a championship show for Mark called In the Crapper.
Well, Leeds were there for the last couple of years, so I know we're not going to be kicking Mark out. He's one of the family, just the same as we're part of the family.
I mean, we don't let him talk about Wolves.
It's a football show.
We don't let him talk about Wolves to begin with, so it wouldn't really matter. Big up to Mark. He's working hard, making that money.
Yes.
Well,
they've got problems. Wolves have got problems this year.
Well, David, I wanted to bring up the next topic in the show, which is the question: do you think that the 3 promoted teams that came up this season, Burnley, Leeds United, and Sunderland, do you think that they could be the best promoted sides ever? Now, my stipulations, my criteria for this are all 3 teams stay up, a good number of points, at least one of them finishes in the top 10, and one of them has a little bit of a cup run. That's what I'm thinking. That would be my criteria to say this is a good promoted side. Let me give you an example, okay? This is 2017-2018. Newcastle, Brighton, Hove Albion, Huddersfield Town. They were all promoted. They all survived. There was a 10th place, 15th place, and 16th place. Let me see what else it says. Huddersfield, didn't buy like fucking anybody. Brighton were in their first one ever. Another big thing why I give this one a bunch of points is because Newcastle and Brighton have been here ever since. So that's a good promoted side. Do you think this year's promoted sides, and I know you might be a little biased, do you think this year's promoted sides have that capability to be up there?
No. And the reason I'm going to say
all right,
that,
that's been the show, everybody. Good night.
now the reason I'm going to qualify that is that I don't see Burnley staying up. That is, I'd love all three promoted sides to stay up. I don't see Burnley doing it. And this is it. I'm going to take this also onto Leeds a little bit as well. Burnley have been playing very well. They've put up fights against teams. They've not got into the opposition area many times during the game. And if you don't get into the opposition area,
Put that back up, John.
if you don't get into the opposition area and score goals, you're not going to get draws. You're not going to get wins.
I mean,
Going
they
on
have
to
more
Leeds,
goals. They have more
if I-
goals than Newcastle.
Listen,
I mean, they have the
it's-
same
it's
amount
gotta
of
be-
goals
it-
as Leeds United. They've
it's
just
got
been
to be
giving
a
up a lot of
it's
goals.
got to be a consistent thing. Leeds, we've started off okay. You know, can't complain too much. We've competed, but it's no good just competing. You have to pick up the points.
Yeah.
And that is my little underlying fear with Leeds, is that we could dominate teams, but if we don't put the ball in the back of the net, we're going to slide down and down, and that's what happens. You have to,
Or if your
you have to
defender
score
puts
goals.
the defender puts the ball in the back of his own net at the end
Yeah.
of the game. Come on.
It's fine margins at this level. But yeah, I see Burnley going down with two others. I think Leeds, hopefully, they'll stay up. We've definitely been fighting. Sunderland have done very well, but I think they will. I'm not going to say fall off. That's the wrong word, but they're going to drop down the table a little bit. They're not going to stay up there all the time. You know,
Well,
those
let
teams
me.
will get found out. They will get found out because they haven't got the experience and the depth that the other Premier sides have.
Okay, I get you on the depth. But for example, Leeds United, when you guys came up a couple years ago, and for the first time in forever, and you guys played a different style of football. You guys played Marcelo Bielsa balls to the wall. Go ahead and score 3 goals on us. We're going to try to score 6, you know, sort of a thing, like just go, go, go.
Yeah.
And it worked in the first half of the season, worked less well later on, and you lost it. They were like just punching matches, and some you win, some you lose. But towards later on in the season, it got harder and harder because teams found you out. Sunderland right now, I don't feel like their style is this particular style where, oh, they do this thing and it's catching people out. I feel like they're just playing solid football. And they made probably the signing of the season, which is Granit Xhaka. They brought in a captain. He used to be captain of Arsenal. He's current captain of Switzerland. He scored today and beat Sweden. He should have had a cracker from like 40 yards out that stung the keeper's hands. It was amazing. But his leadership on that team, the way he yells at people and like gets them in line and keeps him straight, and then he just drops balls in, free kicks, corner kick. I don't think he takes corners, but free kicks, any free kick he takes, he's just whipping crosses in like crazy. They're not doing anything, I would say, out of the norm of like, they're not playing a specific formation that's throwing people off. I think they're just playing good football. So I feel like Sunderland is going to be this team that, yes, they will get beaten, but they're going to be more consistent throughout the season. Does that make sense?
Right. Okay. Yeah.
You're letting
agree
me
with
talk a lot. I'm not used to Mark
No,
letting me.
I agree with what you're saying on that. What I would say, if he gets injured, he may be found wanting a little bit because he controls the tempo of the game. No doubt about it. He is the puppet master in the midfield. Also, when they have the Nations Cup, they're going to lose 5 or 6 players. Have a bearing. Now, if they lose 5 or 6 players and they lose Shaka during that period, then they will on a bit of a losing streak. The trouble is, I think for the promoted sides, and this is my fear, like with Leeds as well, is that you lose 1, you lose 2, you don't want to be losing a 3rd game. Otherwise, suddenly you'll be coming in a bit of a rut. This is fear factor. I look at the likes of, I'm not going to say Wolves so much. They've still got some very, very good players, and if they click, they could suddenly put 5 wins in a row.
Yeah.
West Ham could do the same because they've got the depth, they've got the quality of players. I don't think the like of Leeds and Sunderland really have that yet. They've got the first team, and then they've got decent subs, but they haven't got the depth that these other sides have got. And this is where you can get found out. And if you're not putting the ball in the back of the net when you get the chances, Leeds should have won a couple of the games. They've had more possession, they've had more shots on goal, but they haven't put the ball in the back of the net. And at the end of the day, that's what it's all about.
What's up, Mr. Tom? Bursting in the door. What's going on, buddy?
How you doing, both? All of you.
Okay.
Everyone?
Doing good, man. We're having some long-winded chats that it's nice one-on-one.
Putting the world to rights by the sounds of it.
Yeah, it's all right. Tom, we're talking about the potential. Have you been listening at all, or no? You know nothing?
I have listened to the last 2 minutes.
Oh, perfect. So we're talking about the does this promoted side, this year's promoted teams, could they possibly be one of the best promoted groups ever? Do you think they have that ability? I think with the strong start of Sunderland and their steady play, with Leeds United's whatever you guys are doing right now, and I just feel like the 3 teams right now are not pushovers like they were last year, for example. So, and my criteria, by the way, was the 3 sides all stay up. One of them gets in the top 10, and one of them goes on a somewhat of a cup run. A couple rounds in, at least, make some money out of it. And for example, I'll give you my runner-up here would be the 2011-2012 season with Norwich, Swansea, and QPR. They all survived, and they were, 11th and 12th. There's no top 10 here, but there was an 11th and 12th, so that's pretty good. But a season like that, do you think the current promoted sides could be in that category?
The only reason I'll say no is because football has strengthened so highly since even 2012. Is the fact is basically, like as the table here shows, if Leeds finish 15th, I'd be thrilled. And I imagine, I could be wrong, but I think it's very likely that if Leeds finish 15th, then Sunderland are finishing 14th or 16th, probably 16th. And they'd be thrilled as well. I don't know about Burnley. We'll say Burnley 17th, probably 18th in all fairness, but I don't know. It's hard to say. But
well,
no, go on, Lolo. Sorry.
No. You go. Sorry, I shouldn't be interrupting you. You just got here.
Well, no, I'm just thinking, because obviously part of that statistic you showed, I believe that was referencing the Ipswich Town team that got promoted, but then finished 5th.
Which one? The one that I just showed?
The one you put up there. They had loads of stats. 2001-02 is basically Ipswich finishing 5th, I believe.
Yeah, this
That
one.
was the first one. But it doesn't matter really. But basically, that is what happened. But obviously, that doesn't then account for the fact that the season after that, Ipswich then finished relegated because they couldn't handle European competition.
Yep. And I mean, it nearly happened to Wolves. Wolves' first season up. That's when Mark became a Wolves fan. You know, he had to choose a team, and he was like, "I like the looks of these guys," and they got like 7th place, and I think Man City got won a cup or something that gave us an extra place, so they got into Europe.
On the wall, it's crying. Sorry,
but they got into Europe, and I was like, I hate to tell you, Mark, that may not be a good thing that you got into Europe. You don't have the depth, you don't have the money, and your ownership doesn't spend the money. So, and it was not good for them.
I think. Can I just say on that, where you're talking about teams coming like it, you know, Europe and everything. Forest done it recently, but it was it their second season in the Premier or third?
Yeah, I think this is the year 3. I think.
Yeah, this is year 3, and suddenly they're struggling a little bit. So maybe they're getting found out. It's a hell of a leap from the Championship up.
Sorry, I'm wrong. It's year 4.
And then,
because obviously we were in the league for their first year.
Yeah, but right. Nottingham Forest is their own bag of donuts. You know, they came up and were like, we're going to cheat the system as much as humanly possible without getting in too much trouble. And they had like 48 loan players and all that.
But it worked for them.
And they survived.
I don't like defending them.
Now they're
a
little
screwed. They had no players.
Yeah. No, it worked. And they're still in the Premier League. And you know what? They still have time to turn it around and stay in the Premier League. So
the real problem for Nottingham Forest is their biggest strength is their biggest weakness is Mr. Marianakis, because he will basically make a knee-jerk decision that makes him even worse.
Yep.
And I hope personally, I could totally be wrong, but I personally hope that he basically keeps Ange until they play Leeds United.
Yeah, absolutely. Because
I want to play against Ange Ball. Because do you know the amount of times I would have wanted to be a
Keep
team
talking.
I
can hear you and talk to you, but I'm going to go grab another beer. So keep talking.
Well, as I was getting into, the amount of times if I was a team playing against Leeds United, I'd be sitting there relishing it because I'd want to play against the Leeds United team that was having an off day. Because the Leeds United team that played Bielsa ball, you either got the one that scored 4 goals or you got the one that conceded 4 goals. So you obviously wanted to be against the one that conceded 4 goals. But still, just that's what I want to play against Ange's team because I've watched enough of his.
As a Leeds supporter, I totally agree with you there. Also, West Ham, it's a shame they changed their manager when they did.
Yeah,
I know we've got. Who have we got next? Is it Burnley next?
Yeah, in 2 weeks from now, we play West Ham on a Friday night.
It's West Ham. Is it West Ham first?
No, it's Burnley next weekend, but then
West Ham.
Just for argument's sake, from now it's 2 weeks. So Friday night.
But I would have liked to have played West Ham a couple of weeks ago.
Oh yeah, no doubt. Yeah.
We'll just have to see. I mean, fingers crossed. So that for me, from a Leeds point of view, those 2 games are mad. If we can get 6 points from those, it would be 4 points would be very good. As well.
I was going to say, dude, I wouldn't even be greedy enough to hope for 6. I'd take 4 and run.
Yeah. Well, that's why I'm saying 6 points would be absolutely massive. 4 points would be a very, very good return.
Oh, I agree with you, David. I would do illegal things to try and get 6 points for Leeds United.
As long as you don't get found out and deducted points later on.
Yeah. Well, no, obviously Everton would get deducted the points, obviously, because that's the only team that loses points these days. But still, that's an
nice. Well done. What I was going to
Your-
point on as well, quickly, very, very quickly, Tom, what you were saying about the gap between the Championship and the Premier. Looking at the slides that you showed, in those years since then, the gap seemed to have got bigger and bigger and bigger. Nothing worse than the last couple of years when both years promoted sides. You know, they might have tried and put up a bit of a fight, Luton did, but they were shocking at the end of the day. And so maybe it's bucked the trend a little bit this year because you've had 3 sides come up of sort of semi hit the ground running and they've put up a bit of a. I do think all 3 of us will get found out a little bit. I'm just hoping that Leeds and Sunderland. I just don't see Burnley staying up.
Hey Dave, you're cutting in and out.
Sorry about that.
Oh, I thought that was my.
I thought I was
headphone.
having a stroke.
I was gonna.
Sorry, Tom.
Get my other headphone there. No, but I hear what you're saying. So Tom, you don't think?
I only heard half
sides,
of what he was saying.
Well, I was watching. I was lip reading as well, and luckily it cut out every time you cussed. Every time you said a swear word, so I thought John was sitting there muting you. But Tom, you don't think? Excuse me.
Bless you.
I'm so sorry, I didn't have time to mute myself. Tom, you don't think these promoted sides? You don't think they're all going to stay up?
I just think the law of averages is against it. The reality is, ideally, I just want to be the one that does. Like I don't want to sit here and basically. It's I suppose like what you call it, the fable. Like it's not about outrunning the bear, is it? It's just being faster than everyone else. So basically, I want to survive. Whether Burnley and Sunderland do, I don't really give a fuck about what the Championship has to say about everything. Like, it's massively pretentious for me to sit here and basically go, oh yeah, we owe it to the Championship. I don't give a fuck about it. I just don't want to be in it.
What do you mean you owe it to the Championship?
No, but there are people, there are channels, and not to call anyone out because no one's done anything wrong, but there'll be channels that they're interested in promoting the Championship. Basically, like as a league, basically the fact that like the Premier League is a load of outsiders to them. So basically, it's very. Let me try and word it in a way that makes more sense, even to myself. Basically, like our teams in the Championship good enough to survive in the Premier League, but I don't really give a fuck about the Championship teams being good enough to survive in the Premier League. I care about Leeds United being good enough to survive in the Premier League. Couldn't give a flying fuck about the Championship as an entity, or like because that then if you do that, you're basically saying you're part of the Championship.
Yep. Yeah, that sounds like yo-yo club mentality or like a never Premier League mentality.
Yeah.
I mean, now, like Scooby D2 said right here, or no, who was that? Yulbug. As a Leeds fan for 45 years, I would rather be in the Championship than the Premier League. The games in that league are so much better without VAR. Every championship, well, most championship matches, games that I've watched, that element of it gives you a feeling of nostalgia, and it seems a bit more pure to see some cheeky tackles in there and some things slightly offside, not offside, like things like that where you're like, no, that's just how it is. Yeah, he probably was offside, but you know what? Fuck it, he didn't look offside. Yeah, you might have a millimeter offside, but fuck it, that was a great goal. Why are we taking that away? Or like a challenge that they're showing the replays of, and you're like, that's a fucking red. That is a red. And it's like, no, he gave him a yellow. Game on. Like, let's keep moving. Get up. Let's go. There's a lot of fun to that as well. So I think the championship.
The Championship, sorry to interrupt you, Championship is fun, because we've been winning every week in it.
Yeah.
But what about the 13
if you're at the
years?
other end, it's even worse.
What about the 13 years we were in the Football League and we wasn't winning every week? Was it fun then? And the longer you're not in the Premier League, the more likely you are to be one of the teams that are not winning every week in the Championship. Obviously, the weighting of that has changed based on distribution of the parachute payments and the prize money.
Yeah.
Because the real prize that Leeds United achieved in football in the last 10 years is the fact that we got promoted to the Premier League out of the Championship as a Championship club without the parachute payments. That was us earning money. But we spent a lot of money to do that comparatively. But still.
Just to clarify there, so what you're saying is if you go down, you get a parachute payment, and if you come back up, you're still getting paid the same money?
Well, you get the money from the Premier League. That's the price.
It's all about money.
So why is it important that you guys came up without the parachute payment?
Because the longer you don't have the parachute payment, well,
the worse off you are.
We were in the Championship before parachute payments were a thing. They invented the parachute payment because Leeds United went bust, essentially. Yeah. That is why it exists, is because of Leeds United and our financial mismanagement. And because of that, other teams also experienced very similar levels of financial mismanagement. The difference is we experienced it at such an alarming rate. We basically went from the Champions League to League One in what, like 5 years or something like that. I could totally be wrong on the facts. But the reality is...
Didn't you have some guys doing some dodgy shit, though? Like, didn't you guys get busted for, like...
Yeah.
Completely mismanaged, like illegally mismanaging, not just poor management, but like illegal.
Oh no, the one thing you'll never catch me doing is defending Leeds United on dodgy financial shit. We were punished twice for trying to pull a fast one on the Football League, and rightly, like people sit there go, the Football League are against it. The fact of the matter is, we tried to take an administration points deduction before the season ended. So the Football League rightly called us out on it and basically was like, well, we'll just punish you twice. In hindsight, it's kind of funny. It wasn't at the time, admittedly, but I just fucking hate football in general.
Of course you do. Of course you do.
Football needs to fuck itself sometimes.
All right, well, Tom, let me get your opinion on the first topic from the show. I don't know how much YouTube and stuff you watch, how many of these fan channels you watch, but it's been like doom and gloom for Liverpool. Basically, everyone's saying Liverpool are done. There's so many problems. Slot out. Yeah. I don't know if you've seen. Maybe my algorithm veers that way. But then also they put out the betting odds, and this week Arsenal are favorites to win the league betting wise. And everybody's like, "Oh, the Premier League is putting Arsenal at the," and I'm like, "Those are just fucking bets, man. That's just betting trends, and that's just people who the bookies making their money correctly."
Was that betting line on Arsenal.com?
Probably. But Tom, do you think Liverpool are done because of this 3-game slide that they've had? Do you think it's Arsenal's league to win?
I think it's more wishful thinking on your part, sir. I can fully totally believe that basically out of the international. Well, no, but I just mean out of the international break, Liverpool could rattle off 10 wins in a row.
Yeah.
The fact of the matter is, they spent what 300 million on players in the summer. Correct me on the facts or whatever. Burnley, Sunderland, Man United. I mean that.
John, call into the show. Go to your office right now and call in on the show. We have 10 minutes left in the show. You only need to talk to us for 10 minutes. Come on, Lawler, let's do this.
Forrest insane.
But Sunderland aren't going down. No, it's Burnley, Forest, and Wolves.
To be
I'm
fair,
telling you now.
in 2019, Norwich City beat Man City 3-2.
What?
Norwich beat Man City in 2019-20, and Norwich finished bottom.
Yeah.
But because
Yeah.
Norwich beat Man City, everyone was like, "Oh, Norwich just started really well." It's like,
Oh yeah.
but then
I was
after,
gonna
so
say,
really, the
my-
season's
my-
only really getting going.
I have a clear favorite one-game victory from a team that then got relegated that year. And that was Watford beating Liverpool because it stopped their invincible run. And their invincible run was like 20 games or something. Like it was insane. We were getting to a point where we were all getting very nervous. That might have been the COVID year because I don't remember people in the stands.
It was
And
1920.
it was Ismail Sarr just went off that day. And I will
He
always
scored
love
twice.
him for that. Yeah.
I remember watching it at work.
I will always love him for that.
But yeah, I think Liverpool will be fine. I don't mean fine as in win the title, because I'll be lying if I said I remotely give a shit if they win the title. But, you know, I don't really think Liverpool getting relegated is even the thought that would even remotely enter the mind on the crack of my arse.
Liverpool getting relegated? What are you talking about?
Well,
Exactly. That's what you're saying. It wouldn't. It's never going to happen.
Yeah.
But
never.
because they've lost 3 games, everyone immediately goes to like the worst case scenario. But are they finished? And by finished, what I really mean is like finishing 6th, but still.
Finishing 3rd. What are you talking about? 3rd is like a meltdown. So Tom, what is the problem at Liverpool right now, in your opinion? Is it players or is it Klopp? Not Klopp. Whoa. Slot.
Well, I imagine they've become so top heavy with their attacking talent they've brought in that, like, basically the real problem is they spent all this money on attackers, but then they turned around and didn't get Gay to fix the defensive gaps.
Their new midfielder hasn't immediately hit the road running.
Yeah. That's partly my fault though, because I picked Wirtz in my fantasy football league team, so that is 100% why he's gone 007.
Yep.
So that's more my fault than Arnie Slot's fault, admittedly. But that was why I picked the FLPL team that I did, because I hoped on bocking all those players. Jared Bowen, your poor start to the season, that's me, buddy.
And then you dropped him and he started scoring goals. Because
I've not dropped him yet.
He's got like 4 goals or something, right? Like, for as
If it
bad
wasn't-
as
if it wasn't for him, they'd be at the bottom.
easy.
They'd be where Wolves are. They would have swapped places.
Yeah, but if
Because he scored that wonderful
he
strike,
scored
didn't he,
12
where he cut in from the left and whipped it in. He's the difference.
That guy, man. I can't believe he stayed there.
To invincible Arsenal, Lolo, never happened in our lifetime. Didn't the Aston Villa team of like 72 or something finish invincible?
No, it wasn't Aston Villa. It was
weren't Preston the original Invincibles?
Yeah, Preston North End.
But obviously that was back in the day when you play 12 games a season.
Long shorts and corks.
All right. So how's life been, Tom? You been doing all right?
I had my quarterly checkup at the doctor.
Ah, good.
And I then was getting questioned on why haven't you started physiotherapy yet? I was like, well, I kind of have because I started last week. But then that became a bigger question, as in, how have you had a stroke in May, but then you're only getting physiotherapy in October? I was like, yeah, that's a question I'd like to know the answer to.
Jeez.
But, basically it's because the NHS is shit.
I was gonna say, is this a NHS sort of thing?
Yes.
That's like the normal protocol. Yeah, sounds good.
But it's free.
It is free.
God bless you.
Big difference. Big.
That's actually really handy. But at the same time, when I was laying in hospital, I was sitting there thinking, oh yeah, thank God this is free. In all fairness, if I didn't have insurance, I probably would be thinking that.
But that's the thing, Tom, is I've been in a emergency room hospital in the States, and I'm sitting there going, everything they come up and do to you, you're like, fuck, that's like 30 grand. Fuck, that's like 20 grand. Fuck. Like, they even said, they're like, we're going to keep you overnight. And I was like, please don't. Please. Like, do you have to? Like when my wife went into labor, it was like you could call an ambulance, but that's like $5,000. Just we were like 6 blocks away, so I was like, let's just walk, and so we walked. We walked. It was great. But no, yeah. So you don't have that fear when you go to the doctor.
Yes,
as we do.
The thing with the NHS, it's brilliant. Immediate things that need doing. It's brilliant at that. It's the catching up after, it's the aftercare. What you're saying, I can sort of relate to a little bit. But to be honest, you're not really missing anything on the physiotherapy. Just go for a walk and do some simple exercises up and down and lifting your leg and lifting your arm. That's all they're going to show you what to do.
Yeah, no, a lot of it is basically like I've been obviously doing stuff in between. Like, I've managed to get myself where I can actually move around the house, for example. I went to work the other day, so, that's something.
Exactly.
Under my theory of basically, I like money. But
I'm still curious what Latina Shearers is from Ribshot.
Yeah, that is a Ribshot classic. Can we have a clue, Mr. Ribshot?
I was trying to get it. I still can't.
I've just brought up what you were saying about the Invincibles. Just brought up the list. The Preston North End was even earlier than what I thought it was. It was in the 19th century. 1888, 89.
Wow.
And 10 years later, Rangers in the Scottish Division 1. There you go. And then there's a list of other players. Other teams.
You ready for this one, Lolo?
Hold on, I got it. Arsenal are shite. John Lawler, what the fuck, man? Good to see you, man. John, hello. Can you hear us? He looks good. He looks green.
He's muted.
Why is he muted?
I have no idea.
Oh, he wasn't ready. Now he's unmuted. John, we can't hear you. We can't hear you. I can hear you.
John, sign it.
No, stay there. We're gonna. Oh, no, I can't fix your microphone, John. You got to change your mic input on the thing down there. Change your audio input. There's a little. Oh, he's not going to. He's not going to talk. Oh. So John Lawler, who's going to win the league this year? Who's that? Harris? Where? No, what is that?
How many?
Where is-
How many syllables?
How many still? There you go. Arsenal. Arsenal are going to win the league. There you go. And your forehead disappeared. All right, John. Are Liverpool done and dusted, or do they still have a chance? They still have a chance. Okay. Your dartboard keeps appearing in the background. I can't believe I got Arsenal are shite with this anagram here. I don't know. He put an anagram in there, and he said his Premier League analysis for this season, and the anagram was Arsenal are shite. I did get it correct. See, he said, boom. Well, good. Well, and every season. Well,
Lolo, man, what's going on with you? Come on,
yeah.
talk.
Well,
I think we should have Lola coming on every week as a special slot with such great opinions that he's coming out with tonight.
you just.
Cutting edge analysis.
I can hear his mom right now. You know, she's on the she's watching at home in Ireland right now, and his mom's going, "How do I get that fucking setting where it keeps his fucking mouth shut?" That's exactly what she would say. Well, guys, I know David's got to run. He's out of here, but we've been here for our full hour, so we're gonna call it a night for the show. Don't forget to watch Mr. Tom's Big Gay Wrestling Show. It is at a. Tell them about your show, Tom.
If you could imagine the most gay thing ever and committed to YouTube without breaking the terms of service, and then add another 10% to that, this Mr. Tom Talks Wrestling. Have a good night, everyone. Fridays at 7.
Right. All right, and Director John, put the link right there in the comments. If you want to join us backstage, we're going to try to get Lawler's mic working backstage, at least for a little bit. So, and he fucking left, of course. But thank you, David, for talking for so long, and Mr. Tom as well. Thank you for all your insights. We love you guys. We'll see you next week. Hopefully, I will be in Brooklyn on an actual stoop next Friday.
Oh, yeah.
Peace, guys.